today. I just wanted to come on board and share with you more about Start Your Childcare Challenge that is going to be happening on August 6th, 7th, and 8th. So here I am. Just want to share with you briefly a little bit more about our group and what we do. And I just wanted to share any question and answer any questions you may have. So again, my name is Patricia Olegui, and I've been in the field of early childhood education, well, all my life. I have TikTok over here and I have Facebook here, so that's why I'm kind of looking at both screens. And I've been in the field since I was in high school, really. And I was first an early childhood teacher, and then I became a special education teacher. I got my master's in special ed and continue to work in the field of early childhood education throughout my entire career. I've owned my own family childcare business for the past 17 years. Very successful, thank you. And I'm being very blessed for that opportunity to not only be able to run a business from my house, be able to benefit from many of the aspects, but also being able to be home with my kids. So that has been a great thing about owning a daycare at home. And I'm here to kind of debunk a lot of the myths and a lot of the things that sometimes we accidentally do that don't allow us to really be as successful in the business of early childhood education. So do me a favor, if you're finding this information very interesting, which I'm sure it is, make sure that you share with your friends, and I'll continue to share more about some of the mistakes that we make when we're thinking about owning a business. First of all, the whole idea of owning a business is because you want to own your time, you want to own your day, therefore is your show and is your rules. But when you're running a business, you also have the philosophy that customers are always right. And not necessarily, because this is your house, this is your daycare or childcare, and this is your philosophy, and therefore it is really up to you the type of philosophy and quality of care you feel comfortable providing. And therefore we need to be very mindful of the families that we're inviting into our home, and we need to be aware that we cannot allow our families dictate how our business gets run. We have to listen to our clients. We need to be thoughtful and respectful. However, we have a philosophy, we have a business system, and we need to continue to make sure that we stay true to that and make sure that we're honest and fair, and that we don't let families really run our business, which they're going to try. So this is one of the biggest things that I've learned through the years, that as I continue to work with students at the college level that they own businesses, the biggest challenge they have is because people who work in the field of early childhood education or choose to open a business in daycares because they love babies and we love kids. But one thing is loving children and caring for them, and another one is having the strong personality to also run a business and have to say no to sometimes to families when they're asking you for unrealistic expectations or things you're not going to be happy. In the end, you have a business because you want to be happy. So you have to do things that are going to keep you happy. I keep getting people asking me to join, and I don't know who they are, so I'm declining them. And therefore, that is one of the biggest things that I like to emphasize when we're starting to talk about the business. There's a lot of things that you need to go into running any kind of business. But most importantly, you have to remember that you are doing this for yourself and for your children. So therefore, whatever you choose to do, it has to be in harmony with your thoughts and beliefs. And unfortunately, sometimes we have families that need childcare that may come to you, that may stay with you, but they really have a different expectation or a different need, and they're going to try to impose that because when they're paying, they think that they have the ability to ask for things that may not be things that you want to do. So you have to keep that in mind, and that's why it's very important when you're starting a business that you start by building your business operations or your business plan or what you're comfortable actually sticking to. For example, I can give you one very basic example. A lot of the family childcares in my area, they all provide food, and I think is a very commendable thing to do. But I'm not a cooking person. I'm not into cooking, and it's not my thing. I'm like, I love kids and I love what to do, and then if I were to do it, I think I will be freaking out because it has to be super nutritious and organic, and So I thought, I don't know if I can provide food, because for me to provide food, I want to make sure that it's the best quality food. It's going to be too stressful. What if I run out of food one day? Like sometimes when my own kids, sometimes like, oh, we don't even know what we're going to have for dinner. So can you imagine now having to make sure you have a meal planned for every day of the week? I just couldn't commit to that type of level. So therefore, I decided to provide a different type of benefit, and I provide diapers. And for me, that was a lot easier than having, and parents love it because parents don't like to be carrying stuff back and forth. And I'm very open. I'm like, I don't provide food. It's very personal. A lot of families from different cultures eat foods in a very different way. We have allergies, and therefore we don't stress about food. Families do send their food into the daycare. We provide diapers. We provide all the other things that are like more cumbersome to be carrying around, and we let families handle the meal piece. So that is just one tip of things that sometimes I've noticed that providers feel the pressure that they need to provide food because they see other people in the area providing food. Again, this is Patricia Olegui with Start Your Childcare Challenge. We're going to be having a 3-day challenge on August 6th to the 8th. And more information on the link below is startyourchildcarechallenge.com. And we're going to be doing 3 days for 1 hour every day, in which I'm going to be immersing you with as much information about our program and how we believe that you need to have 3 very important components for your business to be successful. The first one, we call it GROW, which is really just establishing your business, establishing your guidelines, making sure that you're, meeting all the state requirements, if you have any. Depending on the state is what you're going to need. You also need to make sure that you are having resources, how you're allocating resources to make sure you get your business going. You need to have an operation plan. How are you going to operate your business every day? And you also need to make sure that you actually have support staff. The idea of owning a business is not for you to be working 24 hours in the business. The idea is for you to work in the business and find a way in which you have flexibility. For example, right now, I have my daycare running. I have people working with me downstairs in the basement. My daycare happens to be all established in the basement. So I have people working today in the basement while I'm up here for half an hour of my time coming live and talking to you. And then half an hour, I stop the live, I go downstairs, I do curriculum lessons, we do activities, we go outdoor, help with lunch. Then when nap time comes around, if I need a 30-minute break, I can come upstairs, do what I need to do. If I need to pick up my children from school, I can do that and come back right away. Depending on your state and the requirements, how many minutes you can be out. As long as I'm less than 2 hours, it doesn't count as a day. So that way I make sure that I kind of balance my day out. That way my children are getting the highest quality of learning downstairs. I'm making sure that I have provided support to my staff. And I also have the flexibility that I need in my day to be able to feel like I own my business and own my life. So that is how I run my daycare business, and that is how I will be teaching you how you can find flexibility based on what is that you are looking for in your business yourself. So GROW is really the first aspect of our philosophy, which is grow with care and expertise. So care, it really focuses more on the curriculum, okay, and curriculum planning and acquisition. Once you have a business up and running and you're open for business, great, wonderful. Now, what do you do with the kids? You have a daily schedule. How are you going to fill in the activities for the day? How are you making sure that developmentally children are meeting their needs? It sounds very overwhelming, but in the end, we do it instinctively many times. We just have to make sure that we have activities throughout the day to make sure that we keep children engaged. The key to a successful childcare business day, running the daily operations, is having scheduled activities throughout the day. If you find yourself that you have different activities throughout the day is going to go on super fast. You're going to be in control. Children are going to have little to no discipline issues, because again, when you're having children and you're just not confident on how you manage your day, you can unintentionally have behavior that may spike up if the children are not actively engaged on activities. So that's why we talk really a lot about having curriculum and having activities engaged, because you want to make sure that you feel successful, because this is for you to be happy and for you to be able to run a business. It's all about your freedom of time and owning your life again. Okay, and then the last level is what we call expertise, which is our big pillars in which we talk about branding, marketing, and sustainability. Those 3 things are really critical for sustaining a business, because Great. You open a business. Wonderful. A lot of restaurants open and don't make it through, right? It's a 50% rate for restaurants to be successful. We don't want to be that in those data points. We want to make sure that we're successful. So you want to make sure that you have a business up and running, that we have the license, that you have everything ready, that you have a curriculum so you're successful yourself working with the children, build up your confidence. But then how do you brand it? How do you make sure that you let people know that you're there? How do you continue to have children flowing into your daycare on a regular basis? You want to always have a wait list, which is not very difficult to do. You just have to continue to massage the marketing, which is not that difficult these days because we do a lot of we record a lot of snapshots throughout the day of the children to share with families as part of what we recommend for you to do. So it's very easy for you to actually share with people things that you could be doing in your business to share in social media without compromising children. And I'll talk to you more about how to do that on a different live. And then again, we want to talk about sustainability. So great. So now you have a business, you have marketing, people are coming, they're calling you, business is running smooth. But sustainability is key because we forget something that is very, very important. Our parents are always between the ages of 25, 35, 40, okay? But yet we as childcare providers, we continue to grow, right? So we need to stay up to date with the current best practices and the current technology because parents keep changing, because parents are always going to be within the same demographic age range, but we continue to grow as people. So we need to stay aware of what each new wave of parents are coming through. The technology keeps changing, the expectations of families keep changing, and there's nothing wrong with that. We just need to be aware of what the expectations are of our families so we stay up to date with what families are expecting at the moment so we can provide quality care and people are happy and want to choose our care, our business or our childcare center. So for those reasons, this is what we talk about sustainability. Once you're open, what do you need to do to stay and remain relevant within the families, okay? We don't want to unintentionally fall behind, for example, payment plans. Let's say you're still accepting checks only. Well, a lot of young parents don't even print checks anymore. They don't even have a checkbook anymore. So we need to make sure that we understand that we probably need to have Venmo or Cash App or some sort of automatic payment to facilitate and stay up to date with parents. Parents love those things. They feel heard, they feel understood, they feel that we're on the same vibe with them. So we need to be cognizant of that aspect as well. Although sometimes for us, it's like, oh, this is one more thing we got to learn how to do. I remember when we started using a daily app for collecting data about, I want to say 7 to 10 years ago, some of my helpers downstairs, they were really intimidated. They didn't want to use an app. And yet now we cannot live without this app to keep up to date with information for parents. And parents don't even think about any other way of staying up to date with children's days in and days out. On when did they eat? What did they went to the bathroom? What time took a nap? What time was their feeding? So, whether they eat, did they not eat, did they sleep, etc. All of that is inside an app now and is much easier for families. Again, you can still do paper, but the whole idea that I'm going to be talking to you about is about sustainability and staying up with the times and staying with the trends and staying relevant with the families that are going to be choosing your daycare. So that is what I wanted to come and share with you today. If you have any curiosity about learning more about how to start your daycare, make sure that you follow. I'll be going up live a couple more times later on today. It took me a little bit longer, so I only want to do 15-minute live today instead of 30 like I was planning to, because it took me a little longer to get the camera for the Facebook page to go up. But I wanted to come up and say hi to all of you, remind you that we have the Start Your Childcare Challenge. It's a 3-day challenge, 1 hour each day for 3 days on August 6th through the 8th, because there's so much I want to talk to you guys about. I don't foresee having the time to answer questions during the challenge, so I am offering the VA grades so that way we can have a more one-on-one Zoom meeting in which it'll be basically Q&A time, 100% answering all the questions for everyone, and that is a very small fee upgrade in which we can just have a deeper conversation. How can we make sure that you're successful starting your own childcare business? Again, you don't need experience working with children, but you need to love children. If you don't have a love for children, then this is not for you. But if you have a love for kids, this is the right idea, and this is something worth considering. I have been in the field of education, I can say 30 years now. Wow. For 30 years. And I can tell you over and over and over again, people who don't have previous childcare experience or previous experience working with children happen to be the best people to work with children. So personally, I think there's a lot of value for having someone who comes in with a clear mindset and open to learning, rather than having someone who's like, oh yeah, I took like early childhood courses 27 years ago or 30 years ago, through some regional program, whatever. And they never stayed up to date with any information. And now they want to come back and apply things that they were taught 30 years ago. Well, things have changed a little bit since then. So we want to make sure that if that's your case, that's fine. But let's just make sure that we go back and we review and we rewind and we adapt to what now currently we consider best practices and what parents are currently looking for. Parents are looking for something completely different than what they were looking for 30 years ago. And therefore, the way we care for children has to change and adjust. So make sure you follow, make sure you share this Facebook. I will be going live later on today, and I'll be talking a little bit more about how you need, what are the things you need to have to start your business. We'll have this 3-day challenge on August 6th through the 8th. So I am looking forward to seeing you all there, and I'll talk to you later. Okay, so stay tuned because I'll be going live a couple of more times so I can catch people at different times of the day. Take care. Bye-bye.